TV in the 70s was so much different than TV nowadays. I remember watching PBS for so long, all types of shows. Even Bob Ross was teaching and empowering us to stand in our power, to show ourselves grace. Um, I watched, like, Tom and Jerry, and with the Road Runner. I watched so many different cartoons, right? I watched Schoolhouse Rock, and it was always about overcoming adversity, conquering your fears, no one being able to control you, and you be able to make your own decisions. Also, that no one has power over you, and that is the purpose of this video. Now, a lot of times, when you talk to somebody about, you'll see videos where people are talking about someone doing something to them, or, putting a root on them, or causing them some type of anguish or frustration, or like, and this is spiritually, like wreaking havoc in their life. And normally it's because we give people permission to do so. And by giving permission, you may not do any type of put any protections in place for yourself. You may also have invited that person into your energy before and didn't do any kind of clearing between, for the cords between the two of you, and just allowing things to be clear and severed. And a lot of times when you don't do that work, the person still has access to you, because at some point you let them in. You allowed them to be in your energy. You allowed them to experience the essence of you. So nightly I do a practice, and in the morning as well. Sometimes in the middle of the day, I will release all cords, plugs, roots, and personas that I've created in order for me to be connected to other people, filling them with source light and unconditional love, releasing those. And also the ones that are to remain, that I align them with my soul contract, divine destiny, and divine purpose. And I do that because I need whatever is in my present, on this timeline with me, on this path with me, to align with where I'm going. Okay, it doesn't mean you won't have any resistance, because most of the time we create our own resistance by how we think, us worrying, us being overwhelmed, us worried about what's going to happen versus what's happening now, what you can be doing now, what you can be saying now, because that is, and what you can be thinking now. That's important too. So even when I was a teenager or a younger child, watching horror movies, or movies that were more sinister, they intrigued me, because I was wondering how that could exist, and what place did that have in the world that was surrounding me. Because many spiritual practitioners will tell you that you actually create the monsters in your life, and actually you allow them in. If you can visualize it, it can exist for you, and that's both good and not good. By those definitions, you can, if you see spirits, you can see them as demons, or you can see the essence of them that looks like it is. It doesn't align with you, so it may look like something that is more, sinister or evil, versus something that feels light, something that feels more illuminated. Now, you need both. You need to experience what shadow, light, and dark feels like. So all three of those are very important. We know that the shadow is the areas of us that has been, not really embraced by society around us, including our family, friends, and different things like that. And it's a way of putting you in place, training you to be in a way that is acceptable for society to embrace you. So it is a form of love that people show, where they are repeating what has been maybe even generationally practiced for them, helping to basically we're policing one another with that, with keeping people in line, telling them what they should and should not be doing, and with that we are toning down who they truly are. So that's the shadow aspect of us. The dark aspect of us is actually the aspect of us that we have not really truly conquered or understand. It's dark because there's no light in that area. We haven't illuminated anything. We don't truly understand. And something that I'm always talking to people about is rage and anger, and like, well, even when someone's in misery, like that misery is like this deep yearning to understand, to figure out, to know deeper, like to really be so deep into an emotion, even if you aren't trying to better understand it, because you can be in an emotion and not be trying to understand it, which means that emotion then becomes part of your personality, part of your daily expression, until you better understand it, or you release it, or you rename it. So back to the beginning of how I started the video. TV has basically defined how we are supposed to react to situations. And as society evolves, it starts to teach us what to do in situations and what the emotion looks like. The emotion looks like, even if we don't know the word for the emotion. So I normally don't watch like I don't know, reality TV. I used to watch it a while back, but I stopped watching it because I realized that I wasn't those people, and how those people reacted in those situations probably wasn't how I was going to react. So I didn't want anything to redefine or give me ideas of ways to be, when I understood that it did not feel like something I wanted to do or wanted to represent for myself. TV is also a substitute for us taking action. If we're watching it, we're seeing it, we're reacting to it, then our body takes it as a message that we have had this emotion, we have had this reaction, like it's something that we've lived, when in actuality it's the illusion of living. The TV is a illumination or an illusion of living, that we don't actually live physically. We live emotionally, and we may even live mentally by imagining us being in those positions. Now, I find it to be extremely interesting that we weren't allowed to daydream in school, and we weren't allowed to really use our imagination or critical thinking unless it was a class that was specific to that when we were in school. But here we are presented with TV that we are allowed to, that freely we are allowed to imagine, embrace, exercise in ways that is not specific to us. We are not doing it in our physical world. And when we try to apply that in our physical world, it feels like imposter syndrome. It feels like there's something that's wrong, and it doesn't work for us. So it makes us doubt our own self-expression. So how do you address this? Whenever you're about to watch something, I always, put protections in place over what I'm watching, saying that my energy will stay with me and its energy will stay with it. And I ask that my spirit team will bring all awareness and all unawareness into awareness, so I can really understand like what it is that I'm watching, what message spirit has for me, but also what is it that is trying to be conveyed in that show or whatever it is that I'm watching, or video. So I kind of took this from when I used to watch karate movies. I used to turn on the subtitles, the captions, so that I can read. And sometimes when I watched horror movies, I would cut off the sound and put the captions on so that I could read not only the picture that was being projected, but also the words that were being said. So try that out and see how that works and applies to your real life and also the things that you're watching.